to give the APU power. And it's like, well, why is my APU running right now if I don't have any, to give it fuel. And so since my APU is running right now and I don't have any fuel pumps on, how is it running? Where is it getting its juice from? It's because it does burn fuel to get going. So it does actually have its own pump. A lot of people turn one on and they think that it's required. It's not actually required. It's more of a procedure to take some stress off the pump that's already in the APU. So yeah, I'll turn one on and we'll take some stress off that and let it go. So that's fine. Yeah, normally you'd turn that on just when you're turning your APU on, but that's okay. This is only flight sim after all. So right now we'd be normally checking in with the ATIS at the local airport, find out what the QNH is, runway in use, temperature, all that kind of stuff. We would call them up and get clearance. I'm not flying on the line right now because it's going to be it would be difficult to do this video and talk to the air traffic controllers over at VATSIM there at the same time. So I'm not going to bother doing that. I will set my my transponder code, because 1200 right now, if eventually as we go through our checklists and start and take off and whatnot, we will be squawking what we're supposed to be squawking. So we don't want to squawk 1200 because that means we're in trouble. So I'm just going to use the old standby 2301, and we're still squawking standby. We're not mode Charlie, which in this case is a TA-RA. So we'll be doing that just before we take off. And so right now we're in standby, but we did pretend we called ATC and we got a transponder code, and that is set and transponder set to standby as per the checklist. So we're good to go. With this stuff, one thing we are not good to go on yet is our CDU. One thing we really need to do right away to help out the IRS system get aligned, I don't know about aligned, but it needs to know where we are. So if we go to the position right away, and you'll notice that there's all these boxes, and that means it's a required field. It looks a lot like these numbers up here, which is the last position. Again, I'm lazy, I don't want to type all that stuff in, so I'm going to clear out this enter IRS position that's in our scratch pad there. And I'm going to go to the next page and grab one from our GPS, because they're always right. It's Flight Simulator. Actually in real life there too, pretty much. And you'll notice that it pops into my scratch pad down here, which means I can just drop it into the IRS. And as soon as I do that, everybody's happy over down here. There's all sorts of navigation information going on. Woohoo! We could also, if we wanted to, we could put in, oops, I'm going to hit the keyboard button up here because I'm lazy, and I'm going to put in CYYG via keyboard, and it also comes up with that as well. But like I said, I'm lazy, although I just did it twice. Dope! Foiled again. So CYYG still on the scratch pad. We're going to put that in as on our origin on the route page, which was the next one that we needed to get to, and CYHZ, which is Halifax, in there. I don't have a flight number right now, and because technically you could save them and pull them off your hard drive or in the memory of this little FMC, but I don't have it in there right now. So there we go. Yeah. Weather. We need to know lots about weather so that we know where we're going to take off from and where we're going to land to. CYYG right now is 350 at 4 knots. So we're going to activate this, and we're going to go to our departure arrival, and we're going to go to the CYYG departure, and we're going to take a look at what's the best runway to take off on right now. And 350 is very close to 3. And that's one of the big runways anyway, 3 and 21. You don't want to, 10 and 28 is a little short sideways one. Nobody ever uses that. So 350, because arguably 28 is pretty close to 350 as well. So we're just gonna go with 3. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, we're gonna depart on that. There's no SIDS out of CYYG, so we're just gonna take runway 3. That's pretty cool. That works. So we're gonna execute that. See all sorts of stuff popping up down here. That's good. That's telling us that it knows what runway we're taking off on, and it gives us some hard distances there, some good reference. and we're going to go to the arrivals, and CYHZ arrivals, well, currently they're at 190 at 8 knots. So that I would guess, oh thank God, we're gonna do 23. I know 14 probably looks a little closer or whatever, but I like 23. I'm definitely going to do that, and we're definitely going to transition at Lee Ross. And I was going to explain all that. Maybe that's another. Maybe I'll save that for my video on flight planning. Okay, I'll just tell you real quick. We're coming in from the north into Halifax. They don't actually have any SIDS that service coming in from the north, believe it or not, into Halifax. But Lee Ross is actually a common waypoint that a lot of the SIDS transition on to come into ILS runway 23. So a lot of the times they'll vector you in towards Lee Ross anyway. So I'm just putting that on there, you know, because that's how I roll. So here we go. We're back to our route page, and you'll see that I just closed the CDU, and you'll see that all this stuff is all in here already, and I probably screwed up the order and how I did all this stuff, and I'm pretty sure I did. So I'm just going to go to the legs, and we're going to insert some of these things. Lee Ross is the first one, but what we really want is Paulo. So we're going to turn on the keyboard again, Paulo, and we'll see if we can sneak it in ahead. Sure we can. And then the one after that will be Nutby. So there we go, Nutby, and then Lee Ross after that. And then if we execute that, everybody should be relatively happy. Normally at Lee Ross, you like to cross that at about, I usually cross about 170 knots and about 3,000 feet, because that's like, you know, your last approach fix, basically. And it didn't like that. Why didn't you like that? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. That's why, maybe. Poof. No, it doesn't like that. Fine. I totally screwed up this plan. And of course, everything after the runway is your go around for the star. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the initial reference page. I know that we are having about, and again, I'll cover this later, about 9,000 pounds of reserve. So I'm just going to put that in first. I also know that our zero fuel rate